So in this video I'm going to add the pore decoration around the outside of the clock, and I'll see if I get onto the bones or not. We'll see. I might do the bones in a separate video to sort of break things up a little bit. My videos tend to go on rather long. So let's have a look at this pore. Now first of all, my feeling is that I want to have the pores all the way around the clock, but I don't want to go outside this square because it kind of defines a nice border, and I'll probably end up not laser engraving or cutting the square, but I'm going to leave the square there just to give me like a framework which is going to give me an edge for my pore design. And what I'm going to do here is actually make the clock a little bit smaller. So at the moment, let's just come to the dimension lines here, and again it's gone to my extended desktop, so we'll take it over here. Let's come onto my dimension lines, hold the mouse button down, let's come on to a dimension tool here, and let's just indicate on the dimension of this circle. So that circle is 140 millimeters in diameter, and you can see the square that defines the boundaries of that circle is also 140 millimeters in width and as well in height. My thinking is that if I get a new circle with a given radius, I'm going to take this down to 65. Let's just see how this looks, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to use the same center point. Okay, and then I'm going to, if I do that again, I'm going to right click on that tool and I'm going to put this down now to 60 millimeters, and I'm going to draw another circle here. Now what I'm trying to think about here is having like a margin, a space where I can add lots of little pores, and not but then still have space here for my clock face, and have the little pores kind of coming in this gap. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that outer circle, I'm going to delete this inner circle, and I'm going to basically, this is nice, I'm going to fill this area here with lots of different sized pores. So I don't need that dimension line anymore. I'll select it and press the delete key. And do I bring a dimension line in there? Yeah, I think I should do, just for completeness. That's 130 now. So I've reduced the size of my clock, but I'm going to have a nice kind of paw print border. Okay, next what I'm going to do, let's take this paw print here. I'm going to bring it to the side. And I think what I'm going to do here as well, I'm going to pop it there. Let's just zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to select these two frames here. Now, they were actually from my first video when I was talking about the size of the original clock design that I came up with here, why I scaled it this size in order to be sustainable and reduce the amount of waste when laser cutting from these laminated or these veneered sheets of MDF. And I don't really think it's relevant anymore, so check out the first video if you just want to have a reminder about that. But I'm going to delete this. Normally I don't delete anything from my CAD files. I move things off the drawing area to the side, as I've done here, but really these elements do not relate in any way to this new design. So let's just delete those. And now I'm going to be using this space to map out some different sized pores. So let's just go back to the last zoom. In fact, let's zoom in a bit more there. To that point there. Now I'm going to select this pore, and I hope I'm going to do this correct. I'm going to come to my transformation tool. I'm going to come to my alter the size of the selected objects, and I'm going to reduce that by 20%. So I'm going to take it from 100 down to 80%, and I'm going to repeat that. Let's have a see. The first repeat will do down to 80%, or 20% less, smaller should I say, and then the next one will be 20% smaller again, then the next one 20% smaller again. So it's going to go from 100 to 80 to 60 to 40. So that's from 100 to 80 once, 60 twice, 40, 3 repeats. I hope that's correct. I'm going to confirm, and I'm going to click down here, and hopefully, yeah, perfect. So where my mouse pointer was, that's like the 0 point, and it's scaled everything down to that kind of vanishing point. So now I've got these 3 different size pores. Now is that enough? I feel as if I could have a smaller pore again. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to go a 4th repeat, which is going to be down to, if I'm not mistaken, 20%. So let's just make sure that goes straight down there. Okay, so 80, so 100, 80, 60, 40, 20%. I hope that's correct. And now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to duplicate them and position them. Now what I'm going to do as well, let's just check out my step spacing. Yeah, my step spacing is 1 mm, so I'm going to go with that. Let's duplicate it, let's position it, and let's rotate it. Now that's a massive pore. I feel as if anything that's too big. This pore here, duplicate, drop, rotate. Is that too big? Maybe it's okay. Maybe we're okay. Let's duplicate that. So I'm always keeping my original on the side here. Let's take that to the side here, and I don't want this to be too uniform. I want it to be quite a random pattern. So I'm going to have, I say random, and then I'm putting those in each of the four corners, but I just feel as if that's going to be a nice kind of frame to begin with. Something like that. How does that look? Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. Let's take some of these here. Let's see. Can I duplicate this? Okay. Can I kind of position those around? I'm kind of thinking that these pores are actually really massive here. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause the video. I might just actually go with smaller pores. I might make these the biggest pores and actually scale these pores to even smaller values to really try and get lots of little tiny pores. I think that's going to be more cute. I don't want to spend forever on the video doing this. I'm going to pause. I'm going to go ahead and do it and then resume when I'm thinking like I've got something good. Okay, so that's got my pore principle in place. Am I convinced? I might just zap that one there. Let's just get this one in. I'm going to pop that over there. There we are, just to finish like that. That's kind of okay. That's kind of all right, isn't it? Oh, I'm just pixel peeping now. Anyway, I actually ended up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats here. If I just come to the settings there, whoops. Let's just try that again. Select an object, come to this alter size, 6 repeats, so it gave me an even smaller little pore down there. And I actually think the way that this works is, thinking about it now, this is 80% of the size of this one, that's 80% the size of this one, 80% the size of that one, so I don't think they're all scaled against the first one. I think it's 80% the size of the previous repeat. Anyway, I think that's kind of digressing. So that's my pattern done for my pores. Should I have even smaller pores working around here? I kind of think maybe I should, but I'm going to stop there. And maybe we see when we do my next card prototype, we see how it looks. In the next video, I'm going to have a look at, I think I'll add the spindle hole in the middle here, and I'm going to be putting these bones on the 12, the 6, the 3, and the 9, and then I might scale it down and then do the other hours in a slightly smaller bone. So I'll demonstrate how to do that.